We begin with high-stakes negotiations on the Hill this morning as lawmakers attempt to reach an agreement that will help provide aid to Ukraine and Israel, as well as funding to secure the southern border. This all comes as Congress is set to go home for the holidays. So our Nikole Killion standing by on Capitol Hill for us. Nikole, where do things stand with negotiations over border security? Both parties seem to agree that something needs to be done at the border, but they just don't agree on what to do.
Yeah, well, that usually is the case, right? Consensus on doing something, it's just how it gets done. But look, you know, in terms of the lead negotiators who have been working to try to craft a deal around border security, which many congressional Republicans say must be a part of any package, particularly in terms of providing more aid to Ukraine. Both Democratic and Republican negotiators say that there is some progress being made. Last night, for instance, we heard from Senator Chris Murphy, who said they are going to keep at it and, you know, hope to come up with something potentially as soon as next week. He did say it was helpful that the White House has gotten more engaged on this, particularly with the Homeland Security Secretary, who hasn't been engaged in these talks. Similarly, we have also heard from the Republican negotiator, Senator Lankford, who also expressed an openness to try to get this done if they can before lawmakers leave town, which they're due to do that this week. But, you know, there is some willingness and openness to potentially staying an extra week if they can get a meaningful proposal done in time.
All right, so willingness, openness, Nikole. Yesterday, the Senate passed a defense policy bill. What is included in this bill, and how will it likely fare in the House?
Yeah, well, this is a massive defense bill, the NDAA, as it's kind of known by shorthand here around Capitol Hill. This is a bill totaling some $800 billion, and basically it provides the largest pay raise for troops in some 2 decades. But what is notable is that a number of controversial provisions were blocked with respect, for instance, to abortion policies, transgender care, DEI initiatives. Those were some kind of culture war amendments, if you will, that Republicans, particularly in the House, had been pushing. So the fact that it was dropped from the Senate package does raise some concerns as to whether or not it will be embraced, particularly by House Republicans. But this is a critical funding bill and one that both chambers are looking to get done.
All right, let's talk about something else. Shift over to yesterday's vote on the impeachment inquiry. A lot of people will know that there's been sort of an inquiry going on already. There's a congressional panel that's been looking into this. So they're going to wonder, what does the vote yesterday do? How does it change things when it comes to Republicans continuing their investigation into President Biden?
Well, this just formalizes the process. You know, part of the reason that the White House had continued to slam this Republican inquiry, which they continue to do, but in terms of, you know, responding to some of the requests from the committees investigating, is that this wasn't a legitimate inquiry because it didn't have that backing of the full House, which is a step that Democrats also took back in 2019 when they initiated impeachment proceedings against then President Trump with respect to that call to Ukraine's president. So that being said, it's just a formality. It basically directs these committees to continue their lines of investigation. It does give them kind of greater legal standing, if you will, if there are any potential court challenges. Also gives them some extra subpoena power going forward.
All right, Nikole, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for your reporting on all of these very important and delicate matters going on in our nation's capital.